Boy toy named Troy used to live in Detroit. Big dope dealing money, he was getting some coins. Wasn't shootouts with the law, but
what's going on, you guys? My name is Noel and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my commentary and entertainment channel where I talk about various topics, TV shows, and other things. So if you're interested in what I'm talking about, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification down below so that you get notified when I upload new videos. This is the second part of my ranking every RuPaul's Drag Race season. Before I get started, spoiler warning, in case you have not seen all the seasons. However, if you have not seen all the seasons, why are you watching this? Like before, I'll be ranking each season from 5 to 1, because these are 5 seasons. I'll be giving them a score out of 10. So starting this list off at number 5 is Season 11 with a score of 7.5 out of 10. Season 11 is... Season 11 is the most heavily produced season of RuPaul's Drag Race. That is saying something. Watching this season, and I've watched the season back twice, watching this season, it's very clear that the production and the editors had their clear favorites, and there were some questionable choices, questionable decisions that were made during the season. Some examples being Nina West versus Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Brooklyn Heights versus Vanjie. Sugar Cane's entire elimination was some rigor some shenanigans, okay? It was just very clear that the editors and the producers had their clear idea of how the season was going to go and who was going to be their top 4, and anybody who did not fit within that vision had to go immediately under any circumstances. And it was very clear. It was very clear. And before I get any deeper in this video, I love all the queens. I love all the queens from Tim DeJour to Bianca Del Rio. I love them all. Love them all. And it's none of the queens' fault if they're favored, if they're chosen over another queen because of production reasons or storyline reasons. But as a viewer, sometimes that can be annoying and not really cool. And it's like, yeah, the show has to be produced, yes, the drama has to be made, but like, when it's in a reality TV competition and it's clear that these editing choices are affecting the season as a whole, it makes it not fun to watch. Like, you know, watching a competition show, you want to have the feeling that anybody could win. And when you have a show basically telling you, hey, this person's gonna win because of this reason, and you need to like this person because we like them for this reason, it's not that fun. Not that fun. The next thing about season 11 is the rivalry between Yvie Oddly and Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and this rivalry went from being funny to being exhausting. And it's very clear and obvious that the producers knew that Silky Nutmeg Ganache was not the most popular with fans. And because of that, it was a lot of the things that were happening between her and Yvie was basically painting her in a bad light. Like, did Silky Nutmeg Ganache have some shady moments? Absolutely. Did she say some rude and hurtful things? Absolutely, but so did Yvie. And I feel like the majority of the fans, because a lot of fans don't like Silky, I love Silky. I think she's funny, I think she's great, and I think she's a beautiful drag queen. It was just very interesting how RuPaul was praising Yvie Oddly for telling it how it is and calling the queens out and saying what's real. But then just the season previous, in season 10, he basically had a Tyra Banks level meltdown and gave the Vixen a whole smackdown at the reunion for basically saying anything, and basically told her that she should just keep her mouth closed and not start drama. But yet, he was commending Yvie for doing the same thing. And honestly, editing goes a long way. Editing can play a huge role in TV and how you perceive things. And honestly, I'm pretty sure anybody could go back to season 11 and give Yvie Oddly the villain edit, because she came for a lot of people. And I love Yvie. I was rooting for her to win. But I'm just saying. But overall, it was just a really heavily produced season, and it just wasn't fun to watch sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, it's very clear that the producers want us to get this narrative. This is the narrative they are feeding us, and we have no choice to eat it. There's nothing else on the plate, nothing else on the table. Just gotta eat that. But with that being said, that's how I feel about season 11. Season 11 is by no means a bad season. I don't think Drag Race has any bad seasons except for All Stars 1, but I still have not finished that shenanigans. However, the nature of RuPaul's Drag Race and the queens are so lovable that you can't really hate a season. All I'm saying is, when it comes to season 11, compared to other seasons, it's not as enjoyable to watch. Just my thoughts. Moving on. So, coming up at number 4, we have season 7 with a score of 8 out of 10. So the reason why this video was taking so long is because I have seen all the seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race except for season 7 and season 8. And I had to get a trial run from MTV Hits to watch it, which I have to cancel before I get charged. Season 7 was a lot shadier than I was expecting. Very shady. Season 7 was basically just the older queens versus the younger queens, and I enjoyed it. But the queens were really shady, really harsh, and I enjoyed it. I laughed a couple of times. I paused the screen, I rewinded, rewind the tape back to watch it, and I enjoyed it. For example, Miss Fame was coming at Pearl relentlessly, which is kind of crazy because Pearl is so low energy and so non-confrontational, but it was just very clear that Miss Fame was just not feeling her. No ma'am. Speaking of Miss Pearl, oh my gosh, speaking of Pearl, we're gonna get this out the way right away. Trixie won the lip sync, Trixie should have stayed. With that being said, I love Pearl and I really enjoyed watching her progress through the season. However, Trixie did win that lip sync. And I understood why throughout season 7 people were saying Pearl's so low energy, she doesn't want to be here, but I just think that's just how Pearl operates. Everybody is not an extrovert. And unfortunately, RuPaul, the nature of RuPaul's Drag Race and the type of competition show that it is, if you queens who are introverted or a lot quieter kind of get the boot early on or get labeled not caring enough or not being passionate enough or not wanting to be drag queens and basically just kick out the door. If you are not an extrovert, if you are not, you know, shouting and tongue popping to the top of your lungs and just being out there, RuPaul's Drag Race will eat you, swallow you up, and spit you out. And speaking of the queens rivalries, the older queens versus the younger queens, especially specifically talking about Ginger Minj and Kennedy Davenport, there was a lot of lack of self-awareness. Like, Kennedy and Ginger Minj were saying, oh, Violet Chachki is so mean, she's so rude, she's so bitchy. Which was true. However, it's like, you guys are doing the exact same thing, so it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of lack of self-awareness. And I think it's so funny how Kennedy and Ginger would, the last Final Four episode when it was Kennedy, Ginger, Pearl, and Violet, they were talking about how Pearl and Violet aren't ready for the crown, they're so immature, and then Kennedy gave a very, very, very immature Final Four speech, which I think ultimately took her out of the running for top 3. Speaking of Violet Chachki, I love Violet Chachki's looks. I think her aesthetic is great. I think she had some really nice, beautiful looks, although I'm pretty sure her organs have some internal damage because of those corsets. However, I am not a doctor, so we will see in 10 years. But God, season 7 was littered with an abundance of acting challenges. If season 3 was the season of design challenges, season 7 had so many acting challenges. And I just think it's so hilarious how Violet Chachki won and survived the season, not being a really great actor. Like, she wasn't super bad. She was not the worst on the show by any means, but she was not the best out of her cast. And there were so many acting challenges, and she never landed in the bottom 2. She won the season, and I just think that's a pretty bad A, you know? It's pretty good. And of course, you cannot talk about season 7 without talking about Jasmine Masters, who is fabulous, amazing, pop the corns, feed the children, no, all tea shade, all pink lemonade. Gotta love the girl. I am Jasmine Masters and I have something to say. Loved her on this season. Thought it was amazing. Although I was a little surprised at the reunion when Rue gave her that message from Patti LaBelle and then said that the reaction that she got online from fans was so negative that the show felt that they had to uplift her. And that is a problem. The fandom is a big problem with Drag Race, but I'll get into that when I talk about a later season. But as far as season 7 was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed the shade. And before I finish this, the Shakespeare challenge. The Shakespeare challenge was so bad. It was hilarious and I enjoyed it. I loved it. Season 7, great. Great watch. Next. Alright, coming in at number 3, we have season 8 with a score of 8.2 out of 10. Season 8, what can I say? Great cast. Although I was surprised how short the season was because it was only 10 episodes, but then I realized that there's only 12 queens instead of 13. As far as season 8 goes, Thorgy Dor definitely deserved a win, at least one challenge. Thorgy Dor should have left with at least one win on her challenge. She was very, very overlooked, and I love Thorgy Dor. She was great. It was just, watching this season, it's so crazy. Like, Thorgy is, you know, you want to tell Thorgy, hey, don't compare yourself to Bob. Don't stop competing with Bob. Just worry about yourself. But it's like, literally, she's like, gotten so close to winning and losing to Bob. So it's just a lot, but I love Thorgy Dor. I thought she deserved a win so much. Speaking of queens, Kim Chi was great. I thought her storyline about her self-worth and about her mom, dealing with her self-confidence and weight issues, bullying in the past, I thought that was a great storyline and I really enjoyed watching her. Naomi Smalls, fabulous. fabulous, amazing, beautiful legs, beautiful person, beautiful style. Love Naomi Smalls. And then, of course, we can't talk about season 8 without talking about the winner, Bob the drag queen. I enjoy Bob. I love how unapologetically black he is. I love when black queens come to the show and put their blackness on display. Like, I love it, love it. I think Bob is funny, but I think Bob is funnier when he isn't being told to be funny, like when he isn't requested for a comedy challenge. I mean, he's funny in those, but like, I think Bob the drag queen is funniest when he's like off the cuff. Like, for example, if you go to Bob the drag queen's YouTube page, check it out, it's great. He has a video of him doing Silky Nutmeg Ganache's makeup tutorial. Funniest thing ever. Watch it, check it out, it's hilarious. As far as the other queens go, Naysha Lopez was beautiful. Robbie Turner's shade was very fun. Acid Betty's drag aesthetic is gorgeous. I love alternative drag. I love crazy, freaky, weird drag. It's great. And Cynthia Lee Fontaine was a breath of fresh air, beautiful, and she definitely deserved this congeniality. Although that dry fit was a mess. We knew that already. I loved Dak's exclamation point. I wish he had stayed a little bit longer. I love the sci-fi, you know, he was giving me very much Storm from X-Men when he walked in, beautiful. And I thought Layla McQueen was lovely, and I thought her first lip sync against Naysha Lopez was great. That death splat was everything. And of course, you know, I already said spoiler warnings, but like, there was a double sachet between Dak's exclamation point and Layla McQueen. It was a bad lip sync. It was, I'm not even gonna lie, it was a bad lip sync. They deserved to both go home. However, I feel like Dax could have stayed had he not thrown the undergarment of his dress. It's like, had he not thrown that yellow fabric underneath his skirt, had he not thrown that like a maniac, literally at the end of the lip sync, he could have stayed. Like, Layla McQueen literally stripped off all her entire dress, had on nothing but bra and panties, was like just flailing across the floor. Like, literally at that moment, it was Dax's to lose. It was his lip sync to lose. And I feel like had he not just tossed that fabric, he would have stayed. That's my opinion. And then of course, season 8, we have Chichi DeVayne, the lip sync assassin of the season. Great lip syncs. The I Am Telling You lip sync against Thorgy Thor. Beautiful. The pearl dress. Ugh, the malfunction, it was beautiful, it was gorgeous. Everything I needed, gave me my entire life. And then, last but not least, we're gonna talk about Derek Barry. Derek Barry, the walking microaggression.
Hey Bob, if I want to do ratchet drag next week, can you give me any tips?
If you want to do like memorable drag next week, I can give you some tips.
Derek Barry on season 8 definitely gave me white suburban kid, had 2 black friends, but watched a lot of Medea and BET marathons. It was just a lot of microaggressions. And I know, you know, Drag Race fans love to get up in their panties, especially the white ones when you talk about race relations on Drag Race, but it was a lot of racial insensitivity. Like, using soul and ratchet as euphemisms for black is not right, not good, and it was a lot. It was a lot, and it was very clear that Derek Barry had this small window, the small scope of what he thought blackness was, and him trying to use Chi-Chi to sew up his performance and referring to Bob the drag queen as ratchet as an insult, even though Bob said that he doesn't associate ratchetness with negativity. As far as it comes to drag, it was just microaggression. Microaggression after microaggression. I didn't appreciate it. I'm sure he's changed. I'm sure he's learned about himself. I mean, at the reunion, he said that he said some things that he shouldn't have said, so I'm not gonna harp on it too much, but I'm gonna point it out because I'm a black man. I am a black gay man giving my opinion on this show, so period. Coming in at number 2, it is season 10 with a score of 8.5 out of 10. So I love season 10. These last 2 seasons are probably the seasons that I have watched the most. Season 10 was great and had so many great characters. Monet Exchange, Monique Hart, Miss Cracker, just great queens, Of course, we have the legendary Vanjie exit, Miss Vanjie. While it was sad to see her go, of course we know she came back for season 11. Honestly, season 10 had some really great looks. You got Miss Cracker making wigs making like merkins and dresses out of hair and hair hats. You got Aquaria serving you fashion. You got Monique Hart sewing every garment she's made before she hits the runway because all she had was Jesus glue and fabric. And then of course they have Cameron Michaels' beautiful black bird look, and it was a lot of great looks. And I think out of the later seasons, season 10 is one of the best of the later seasons. I really appreciated the Vixen. I'm a huge fan of hers. I know a lot of people aren't fans of hers, and she has said some controversial things, especially regarding Manila and the late great Sahara Davenport, RIP. But the Vixen brought to the show a really great conversation about microaggressions and public perception when it comes to race relations, especially in the queer community and especially with Drag Race, when she was telling Aquaria about how, as a black person, the Vixen can speak her mind and be called negative, but Aquaria can be shady and it's all fun and games, and that is not okay. And then we have the clear favoritism of Eureka, and Eureka had some very racially questionable moments on the show. It was gross. And even after the show, we know the scandal that happened with her. I'm not going to talk about it, but it happened. So that wasn't great. Like, for example, her pairing up Aquaria with the black influencer for the makeover challenge, thinking that this black person would drive her to the end, drive her to her doom and make her lose. That was kind of gross, but that's a competition, so I get it. That's kind of gross. It was just gross. Eureka's behavior on season 10 was very not okay, and it was very clear that the judges were favoring her because she had returned. She was a returning queen, and they wanted her at the top, and it was a chance for a big girl to win. I was not feeling Eureka on the season. I was not liking her on season 10. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't liking her that much. And of course, we can't talk about, Eureka without mixing in the Vixen and their whole rivalry, and I think that got really gross. And I think it was gross. It was just gross. It was gross. And I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about the reunion at the end because I have thoughts on that. But as far as season 10, it was great. I think Cameron Michaels definitely beat Eureka in that lip sync. And honestly, I feel like they probably should have kept Miss Cracker instead of Cameron for that last top 5 lip sync, just because Cameron had lip synced 3 times. The chances of her winning the crown over Eureka, Asia, or Aquaria just wasn't gonna happen. It didn't make any sense. I would have just kept Miss Cracker. Miss Cracker probably wouldn't have won, but I would have kept her. But Miss Cracker's on All Stars 5, so it doesn't matter. And then of course we have to talk about my queen, my politic, my everything, Asia O'Hara, who I was desperately rooting for. I really wanted her to win. And then of course the butterfly effect happened, so that, yeah. And then last but not least, the last thing on season 2 that left a bad taste in my mouth was the reunion. And more specifically, the reunion, RuPaul had a very, 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 very clear narrative that he was trying to get along and that he was trying to push with the Vixen, and I just didn't. The editing of the show was just edited. Season 10 was edited in a way to make the Vixen look like the worst person in the world, and it's like, no. The Vixen is saying valid things. She has valid reasons to feel the way that she feels and to do the things she's doing and to say the things that she's saying. And the show is really just trying to paint the Vixen out to be this really big villain. And Drag Race is a huge, 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 huge problem, vilifying queens of color. But it was just really gross. And the way that RuPaul came at the Vixen, especially now knowing how he was praising Evie Oddly the season after that for doing essentially the same thing, which is really gross. It was really gross. And a lot of people jumping down her throat and not Eureka's was gross. Last but not least, at number 1, we have season 9 with a score of 9 out of 10. I have watched season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race the most out of any season. I have rewatched it. Mostly I had rewatched it in anticipation for season 10, but I just love season 9. I loved it. I've watched all the Movie Bitches reviews on season 9 because I just love them. So I love the Movie Bitches and I love season 9 so much. And I know a lot of fans harp on season 9 if we're not having that much drama and it being RuPaul's best friend race, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't need a lot of drama. Give me good queens, good fashion, good challenges. I loved it. Although I will say season 9 definitely turned into Nina Bonina Brown's group therapy for some reason, not understanding why that was happening, but I was kind of over it. I was like, why are these queens coddling Nina? She's fine. Like, why are we, feeling the need to like babysit Nina? It's getting a little bit weird. Let's move on. Let's move on to other things and focus on ourselves. I thought Alexis Michelle was really, really entertaining, and watching her just like have her diva moment and her if you see something, say something. Why would you guys let me wear this fur and this blue dress? Why won't you tell me that this isn't fashion? It was hilarious. And honestly, the ball episode, which with her, she goes home, but it was really funny. That untucked moment, I'm gonna put it down here, but it was hilarious.
Of you picking me as a compliment, because I think y'all know that I'm fierce competition, and it would be convenient to get rid of me tonight.
I mean, I'm glad that you are fierce competition. You are sickening. I love you. This is not my favorite outfit. I do not like the skirt, girl. We didn't have a chance to talk about it. You didn't ask my opinion. Truthfully, that is why I chose to select you. It's not personal. It's my taste.
Love it. Love it. Great. Wow. And other than season 9 had really good queens and really great challenges. And honestly, season 9 probably would be the one season that I think would benefit, a regular season that would benefit from a double crowning. I wanted Sasha to win. I was really rooting for Sasha to win, and I was happy when she won. I like literally jumped up and screamed at the TV when she got crowned. However, looking at it in retrospect, the fact that Shea Coulee won 4 challenges, the most out of anybody on season 9, and 2 of those were shared wins with Sasha, I feel like Shea definitely should have got the crown. Definitely should have got the crown. Like, Sasha won the lip sync definitely with the rose petals, but Shea definitely should have got a crown. And she knows she's on All Stars 5, so maybe she'll get a crown now. But, you know, it just feels Shea Coulee walking away from season 9 without a crown doesn't sit right in my spirit. In my bosom. Kind of hurts a little bit. Like, definitely giving Sasha and Shea both a win, both the crown, and, you know, splitting the 100,000 would have been a great. And plus, they were like best friends during the season, so it would have been a perfect capstone ending. And then one of the best parts of season 9 was the reunion. You know, if the season did not have enough shade for you, the reunion had all the shade. All the shade that had not been in the season came to the reunion, and it came out. The queens coming for Valentina, and Charlie was hilarious. Them changing Miss Congeniality to fan favorite because they don't feel like that Valentina deserves the award. Hilarious. It was just great. Season 9, I just love season 9. I think season 9 is the best out of all of later seasons, not including season 12 because season 12 is not included. But just to finish it up, some of my highlights of season 9 were Nina Bonina Brown versus Valentina, the Michelle Visage roast, the ball challenge, and the Village People eleganza. Love that. The white runway. I love drag queens in white. Beautiful, loved it. The TV pilot channel, and almost every single look of Nina Bonina Brown. Her drag aesthetic is something that had never been seen on the show. Her doing prosthetics before the runway, she was amazing. Nina Bonina Brown, her fashion, really amazing. And I will say the first time I watched season 9, I wasn't really a big fan of Nina Bonina Brown just because of, you know, the queens babysitting her and having another little group therapy, and then her kind of being down on herself. But after watching it over and over, I really love Nina Bonina Brown. I follow her on Instagram. I subscribe to her YouTube channel. I think she's amazing and fabulous. And then of course, we cannot talk about season 9 without talking about Lady Gaga being on the first episode. Loved her, loved it. It was amazing and it was great. With that being said, that is my ranking of RuPaul's Drag Race seasons. The next video I have, it will be a rapid fire video of me ranking all seasons 1 through 11 all at once, really quickly, so you guys know how I feel about the season. And you get my, you know how I think of them all in one video. Gonna get it all in one video. I had to break it up because, girl, editing these videos is hard. But with that being said, thank you for watching so much. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you get notified when I upload new videos. I would really greatly appreciate it. If you are a Drag Race fan, please be kind to the queens. Don't send them death threats. That's completely inappropriate, completely uncalled for. It's really gross. And if you are sending death threats to anybody, you have a problem. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video. So, yeah. Peace.
Boy toy named Troy used to live in Detroit. Big dope dealing money, he was getting some coins. Was in shootouts with the law, but he lived